Ladies, episode
7.
Yes. Of Ladies and the Law, and we're right back here. And today we just want to dive into a topic that I find very, very interesting: adoption and surrogacy. And I'd like to know: would you adopt children? Has that something that has crossed your minds?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
I think so. Yeah, I would definitely adopt. Not that I will, but I would not mind adopting.
So
Yeah.
will you or will you not?
I'm not so sure.
Other factors be considered.
Other factors have to be considered. Other opinions have to be
consent.
considered.
Yeah.
Consent. Yeah,
Especially.
and that thing that they used to say, the politicians, I was not consulted.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So we went to
On
avoid
this
So I have
matter.
to consult. I have to
Yeah.
consult. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for you?
Yes. I mean, all factors considered, consent and such.
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
I think adoption
What
is...
about you?
Would I would consider it.
Mhm.
I'd consider it, but yeah, first I might have to. Yes,
Yeah.
let's just say that I'd
You
consider
consider
it.
it.
Yes.
It's an option.
Yes.
It's an option.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
and a
it's-
good option.
And you wonder whether it's. I mean, culturally,
Mm.
it's. Do you think that it's an African thing?
That's how Africans see it. You know, going back to our forefathers' days,
Yes.
it's always been a woman is to be married to bear children, to bring forth children.
Yes.
So it would be very un-African to see somebody going out of that family unit to bring somebody else, another child from somewhere else, into that unit. It would be a little un-African.
Yeah.
I think it's
Like-
silly is even probably.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure not very many people
Yeah.
think of
Adoption
as even an option.
True.
And in many cases, it's okay, let's have one biological one and then maybe adopt. But you know, in the Western world, there are people who get together and decide, you know what, we
Yeah.
just want to adopt,
Adopted.
which I really admire, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I really admire. I feel like I
Yeah.
should get to that place.
But if you think about it, I
Yeah.
think it's not too un-African because
Yeah.
it's natural for African families
Yeah.
to
Actually,
you've probably lived with your cousins.
Cousins.
Yeah.
You know, you've
Very true.
lived with someone that is not your biological
Biological
brother or
brother.
sister.
True.
Yeah.
So it's not too far outside. But
Yeah.
just going into the legalities of it, Brenda, what is how legal is
Mhm.
adoption in Kenya?
Yeah.
Let's go there.
It's a whole 9 years from the part where, you know, the parents to this adopted child decide and make up their mind that yes, we actually want to adopt, to, you know, going to an adoption agency and telling the agency of their interest, to the agency matching them with a child, it's a whole
So-
process.
You know, at times when we think adoption, we're like, okay, we are going to
Yeah,
the children's
it's like a
home.
supermarket.
That's who I want, you know.
Yes.
Apparently,
Yes.
there's an agency.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. By the way, and it's even good you brought that up. Most people think that, you know, if I want to adopt, let me go to a children's home.
Yeah.
No, that one looks so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I want. Apparently, it's not. So people need to know that.
So there's
You
no
have
choosing.
to. There's no choosing.
It's not a supermarket.
It's not a
is what we're
supermarket
saying.
of babies.
Okay.
So you have to go
Really?
through an adoption agency, and it's the adoption agency that work hand in hand with the children's home.
Okay.
So you'd find that even you are in Nairobi, but your child is got in Mombasa or Kisumu, because they have to match you up. So when you go to the adoption agency, they have to, first of all, of course, they have to look at you, look at your history, what kind of family unit you are in, and of course, there's also exceptions. So as a DC, you may think that yes, it's I wake up in the morning, I go, I get a child. Yes, you have to be pre-qualified.
Yeah.
So
what
yeah,
are those things
so
they look for?
exactly.
Yes, who's
Eligible.
eligible?
Who's
Yeah,
eligible?
that's a big question, actually.
So yeah, so they have to look at
Sounds
age.
like an exclusive
It is.
Yeah.
club.
You
am
need to-
I
Yeah.
eligible?
Am
You
I
know.
eligible? No,
Am I
it's-
pre-qualified
yes,
into the
yes.
member?
So you have to be at least 25 years of age.
25?
Yes, at
Okay.
least
Okay.
minimum. Then you definitely should not be over 65.
Oh.
Even though if one party, For instance, if it's a couple adopting, if one spouse is over 65, one has to be under 65.
Okay.
Other than age, they also look at what kind of family unit you are in. So we are talking if you're a single person and you want to adopt as such, or you want to adopt with a partner. So for instance, if you're a lady and you want to adopt a child, they can only give you a child of the female gender. Then likewise, if it's a male person, you can only be given a boy. Because they discourage the whole, a child of the opposite gender being with you as a male. For instance, if you're taking out a girl as an adopted child.
Then if you're taking out, if you're a lady and you're taking a baby boy, that's an issue as well.
That is an issue as well. Though there are exceptions to this, by the way. So for instance, if it's DC, say you're taking your nephew, it's a nephew. So there's a relation there. You understand? So that's an exception. So for instance, your, God forbid, your brother is incapable of taking care of his child, and you want to adopt this child to be that child's legal guardian. Then now that's an exception, because you've proven first of all that you are related, and number two, since you're family, you're who better than you to take care of this child. So there are a few exceptions here and there. Then of course, another legal eligibility criteria is also the fact of the issue of your sexuality. Yes. So if you are not straight, it may become an issue. You will definitely not be able to adopt in Kenya.
So if you're in a same-sex
partnership, in a same-sex union, you may not be eligible. You already, of course, intimated your interests. They will go now in the hand of getting a perfect match for you. So that's where now they consider like physique, complexion and whatnot.
How do you tell?
It's
child
so interesting.
I mean, if the baby is 3
no, not physique in that way. It's always more of complexion, really.
But babies are light.
No, by the way, I forgot to mention this. You cannot adopt a child who's under 6 months. Yes, you cannot.
You should have led with that. What?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
You can't?
No, you cannot. You cannot. They have to be at least 6 months.
Very interesting.
Yeah, they have to be
many
at least
people
6
are
months.
like, we'd like to adopt them when they are babies.
But 6 months, they're still babies.
Okay, yeah, but like
because
babies,
there's the issue of number one, and this is why I was saying there's so many things that go into it. The adoption agency and the children's home together, working hand in hand, and probably to a certain extent even the cops. Say for instance, it's a child who was, left. Who was picked. They have to try and find the rightful parents or any relations that may be, in existence or around for purposes of returning this child to them. You don't want somebody knocking at your door 20 years down the line and you know exactly what they've come for. Somebody just mentioning, yes, you see that young man over there, that's mine. And probably even with facts, like, was the boy not picked at this place during this time, round about these years, and you're like, wow. So it's important that all these processes are taken care of, all the paperwork is taken care of, such that by the time you and your husband come along that you want this baby, or the baby is actually up for adoption and qualifies to be up for adoption.
It's a whole chicken.
It's a whole,
Hiyo hata ni dancer hiyo sasa.
Dancer hiyo it's a whole, by the way. Look, that's a ilishapita, okay, cute.
Hiyo si cake.
Yeah.
It can't be Kenya.
It's why it's big and heavy. Was it heavy?
It was heavy.
It was heavy.
Big.
Excellent. And adoption works sometimes is discussed hand in hand with surrogacy.
Oh yes.
So would you be a surrogate or find a surrogate to carry your babies for you?
I would not be.
Yes.
For the record. That is not the gift that I was given.
What gift? All you need is a womb. That's all you need.
Me neither. It's so much hard work. It is.
It's a lot.
Yeah, but would you get one?
A surrogate.
Would you procure the services or what?
I mean, I would definitely be open to it. Definitely, because as
I'm
I said,
not so sure.
the other is not the gift I was given.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I would definitely, it's either I'm adopted or that's my blood, bones, all waters.
Iron.
Yeah.
Iron.
You know the way they say the blood of my blood.
Yeah.
Yes.
You want it to be blood of your blood.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll take this minute to thank Kim Kardashian, all other women that have taken this journey.
Yeah. Would you do it? I like the way you're shooting.
Yeah, she likes asking questions.
You do.
well, we'll answer that in the next episode. Now, I need to know legally. Is there any? Is surrogacy in Kenya legal? Is there any legislation that's guiding surrogacy in
or
Kenya?
should we just do it in a very hidden manner?
Surrogacy, you don't even have to do it in a hidden manner. It's happening. It is very there, by the way, and as the years go by, you find that it's a very welcome option for most couples. So it is there. What we don't have in Kenya is any legislation surrounding this or governing this process. So you find that people are doing it, yes, and it is not illegal either. Yes, because there are so many matters that have also been decided upon in our courts, in our very own courts, and it has never been judged to be illegal. It's just that there's no legislation.
Okay.
10. To go 10, sister.
10 minutes. It will for sure be longer. But I think if
Etta, you're 15 too.
Sasa tutatoa 12 minutes.
I think students wameenda lunch side.
Students wameenda able to take advantage. Wameenda lunch. Kulala. Students were flying.
Yo.
Alafu you must come in 2s or 3s. Because kwa kimoja na compete. I know there's a bill in Parliament,
yes,
the 2019 bill. I think it's called the Assisted Reproductive Technology Act. Long name.
Technology.
but that's what it's called. And it came to the floor of the House. It was proposed by Member of Parliament Millie Odhiambo. And part of what she was saying was, some male colleagues have laughed at me and have asked, and have said, you don't have children. So she felt personally like, okay, this is attacked, and this is something that we need legislation around. Just in finishing, what are those issues?
Especially because there's no legislation.
Yes,
there must be issues.
It's a gray area. So what are those legal issues that would that we'd see around surrogacy?
One good one, and precedent-setting matter was where a couple who took out an adoptive child, and on the birth certificate, the mother was put the adoptive mother. The adoptive mother's name was put on the birth certificate.
The adoptive mother or the surrogate mother?
The adoptive mother.
The adoptive mother.
Yes. So there were issues. Yes, there were issues surrounding that, and when it came to court, before court, it was actually declared that the name that is supposed to go to the birth certificate is actually the one of the surrogate mother. A note of the adoptive mother.
So when you say adoptive, it's a biological
ish mom. No, when I say the surrogate mother, that's the biological, really. Yeah. Because it's their
embryo.
Yeah. It's embryo.
I think when they come together, it becomes an embryo.
It's their.
So the biological mom's name was put on the birth certificate.
The surrogate, the biological mom's name was put on the birth certificate.
Me and my husband get the services of a surrogate mom, right? Then when the baby comes, on the birth certificate they put my name.
Yes.
Who to court in this case?
So it was an issue with the UK because they wanted to take out passports. for this
Okay.
child. So at the UK embassy, they're like, whose child is this? You understand? So of course there's the whole issue of we are the parents, we are the biological parents. But the UK knows for a fact Kenya does not have any surrogacy laws. So how are you the parent? So that is how the issue came up to be, that this woman, who is actually the biological mother, now has to again go through the court process to have through an adoption process to adopt a child who was basically regarded
Who
as
is
her own.
genetically
Genetically
hers.
hers. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so just to ask, so was this issue just the moms or the dads too?
It was not the
So
I see where you're going.
It's okay for this guy.
I see where you're
Come
going.
on, like
Yes.
this.
So the dad's name goes directly. That's no brainer. It
So
goes.
it's not genetics.
by-
It's the one who carried.
It's because it's the mother who,
Really?
the surrogate mother.
Okay.
And imagine in
We
this
can
particular
do it.
scenario, this was actually a 2015 matter, 2014, 2015, very recent. And I like the fact that Lenaola actually said that, made a proclamation that, we have to have laws, so it's important that that happens. And even in that particular case, since these guys needed to travel, he expedited the adoption process. So those were actually part of the orders. That for the adoption process to be expedited, so that, For instance, there was this matter before Justice Lenaola, where a couple had taken had taken a surrogate, for purposes of having their child for them. So agreements are in place. All parties are okay with it. This child is born. The couple now takes their child, because this is really their child. The surrogate mother, kind enough, gives the child. So there's no issues. Up until when they want to go to the UK and they really want to get a passport for this child, because they were British as well, as Kenyans.
Okay.
So the UK, in their wisdom, knows that Kenya does not have any surrogacy laws. So question is, whose child is this? And why is the birth certificate having your name as the mother instead of the surrogate mother's name? So matter is brought before the High Court, right? So that's where the issue of adoption now comes in. That you as a mother, who's used a surrogate, cannot just simply take your child and leave.
And put your name on
the birth certificate and leave. Yes. So you have to go through an adoption process for that to happen, and for your name to appear in the birth certificate. You've understood that? Yeah. So it's weird, and that's one of the legal issues that arise, just like you asked. Yeah.
But so
I will ask though.
Please do.
I will ask, because someone needs to ask.
Yeah.
So this is a woman issue, not the dad issue. The dad's name being on the birth certificate was just okay, right?
Non-issue. The dad's name automatically appears.
What informs this madness? Because it is madness.
It's his seed that was used. But for the mother, since somebody else was used in this process, the surrogate mother, she is regarded as the mother up until then.
The person who carried and birthed, not necessarily genetically.
Not necessarily genetically. But it's good that the High Court actually recognized that, that genetically speaking, this is indeed this couple's child. In all ways,
Yeah. And
so
for
they
you to get a
understood.
surrogate, it's a whole contract and everything put in place.
You should, ideally you should.
Yeah.
There are
do it
no
right,
laws, there are no laws governing it. So ideally, if it's something you want to get into,
you would contract like you're contracting for property.
I would definitely advise that you do so.
You procure the services.
I would highly advise that you do so.
Surrogate. And I think that's probably the spirit and the issues behind this act or this bill that is in Parliament. My understanding was that it had gone up to the point of assenting by the president, but it didn't have it wasn't ready to be operationalized, so that's why it's gone back to the House, and hopefully it will pass if it's at the second reading right now in Parliament. Excellent.
So.
Okay, so what are our takeaways from today's episode?
Surrogacy is not a bad thing. If it's something that you have to do, I would advise that you proceed. It's fine. But it's just that you have to know what you're getting into. And adoption is definitely an option. So,
and as a mother, both your womb.
Yeah, true.
Oh my God, that's absolutely sad. But we are
It's very
hoping
sad.
that changes.
Mm.
Absolutely. So you know what options you have now as regards adoption
Yes.
and surrogacy. So see you in the next episode where we talk about some interesting things.
And where you tell us where, you know, whether she
Oh
like-
no!
Yes.
No! It's the episode after